Welcome to Professor DC, where literature doesn't just speak to us, we speak back to it. In this channel, we uncover the hidden gems within stories, break down complex meanings, and make sure that by the end, there's no room for confusion. Whether it's stories, plays, or poetry, we take every piece of literature and make it engaging, simple, and relatable. Let's dive deep into the world of words together. Today we are diving into a heartwarming and thought-provoking story titled A Letter to God by Gregorio Fuentes. This chapter is a simple yet powerful tale about faith, hope, and human kindness. It introduces us to Lencho, a poor farmer who depends entirely on his crops for survival. When a devastating hailstorm destroys everything, Lencho's deep faith in God leads him to take an extraordinary step. He writes a letter to God asking for help. What makes this story special is not just Lencho's unshakable belief in divine intervention, but also the response he gets, though it comes from an unexpected source. The story beautifully portrays the irony of how Lencho's unwavering trust in God blinds him to the kindness and generosity of the people around him. As we explore this chapter, we will discuss themes of faith, human compassion, and how sometimes help arrives from unexpected places. So, let's get ready to break down the story line by line and uncover the deeper meanings hidden within this seemingly simple letter to God. Note: the original lines of the story are mentioned in double quotes, followed by its explanation. We will follow this format throughout the story. Let's begin. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. Here we are introduced to Lencho's house. It's not just any house, but the only one in the entire valley sitting on a low hill. This suggests a sense of isolation. Lencho and his family live far away from the rest of society, entirely dependent on nature. The setting makes it clear that they are self-reliant, living a life in harmony with their surroundings, and this adds a deep connection to the story's theme of faith and dependence on higher powers. From this height one could see the river, and next to the corral, the field of ripe corn dotted with kidney bean flowers that always promised a good harvest. Imagine this beautiful scene. Lencho's field is full of ripe corn, with kidney bean flowers scattered about. The imagery here is rich with hope. Lencho's hard work has paid off, and his crops are in full bloom, promising a bountiful harvest. The river in the background adds vitality, showing that nature has been kind so far. At this moment, everything seems perfect. The harvest is almost guaranteed, and this scene paints a picture of anticipation for what is to come. The only thing the earth needed was a rainfall, or at least a shower. And here's where the tension creeps in. Everything looks perfect, but it all depends on one crucial factor: rain. Lencho has done everything he could, worked hard in his fields, but the rain is out of his control. This shows how human effort can sometimes feel incomplete without the cooperation of nature or fate. This moment is relatable. We've all been in situations where we've done everything possible, but success still depends on something beyond our control. "Now we're really going to get some water, woman," said Lencho. Lencho is excited. He sees clouds forming and confidently tells his wife that rain is coming. There's a sense of optimism here. Lencho is hopeful that his hard work is about to pay off. His belief that the rain will come and nourish his crops reflects his trust in the natural process, his faith that everything will go according to plan. It's the moment just before things take a turn, a brief breath of hope before the unexpected happens. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow. This is where things start to unravel. The strong wind is an omen that the weather is turning from good to bad. What should have been a gentle rain to water Lencho's crops is now becoming a threat. The wind signals a storm, and the story begins to take a darker turn. This sudden shift from hope to despair is something we can all relate to when everything seems perfect, but then life throws an unexpected challenge our way. The hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn or beans. Lencho watches helplessly as the hail destroys everything. His crops, which were so full of promise, are now gone. This is a devastating blow. Lencho's entire livelihood depended on these crops, and now with the hail, that future has been destroyed. His hard work, his dreams for his family, have all been swept away by something he couldn't control. This is not just a loss of food, it's a loss of hope for the future. In the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house, there was a single hope: help from God. After the destruction, Lencho and his family are left with nothing but their faith. Despite losing everything, they still believe that God will help them. This moment shows the strength of their belief in divine intervention. Even when things seem hopeless, they trust that God will provide. It's a reminder of how faith can be a source of comfort and strength, especially in times of despair. Lencho was an ox of a man, working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. Lencho is described as a strong, hard-working man, like an ox, tirelessly toiling in the fields. But there's something unique about him. He knows how to write. In a rural setting, this skill sets him apart. It shows that Lencho is not only physically strong, but also capable of expressing himself through words. His ability to write allows him to communicate directly with God, something that adds a deeper dimension to his character. "God," he wrote, "if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year." Lencho writes a letter to God, laying out his situation simply and honestly. He's not asking for luxury, just survival. His plea shows his complete trust in God. This moment highlights the depth of his faith. Lencho believes that if anyone can help him, it's God. He writes with total confidence that his letter will be answered, not out of desperation, but out of a belief that God listens to those in need. The postmaster said, "What faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter." The postmaster is amazed by Lencho's faith. Reading the letter, he's struck by how much trust Lencho has in God. This moment shows how powerful faith can be. It can inspire those who witness it. Even though the postmaster may not share Lencho's belief, he is moved by the strength of Lencho's conviction. It's a reminder that sometimes the strength of someone's belief can be enough to inspire others. He asked for money from his employees, and several friends were obliged to give something for an act of charity. Touched by Lencho's faith, the postmaster decides to help. He collects money from his colleagues, wanting to fulfill Lencho's prayer. This moment of human kindness contrasts with the divine help Lencho seeks. While Lencho believes the money will come from God, it's actually people who step in to help. It's a beautiful reminder that sometimes help comes from unexpected places, and human kindness can be just as powerful as faith. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money, but he became angry when he counted it. Lencho's reaction to receiving the money is telling. He's not surprised at all because he fully expected God to answer his prayer. But when he counts the money and realizes it's less than what he asked for, he becomes angry. This moment shows the depth of his faith. He doesn't doubt God's help, but he believes that someone else must have taken part of the money. His faith is so absolute that he cannot accept anything less than what he asked for. "God," wrote Lencho, "of the money I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest, but don't send it through the post office because they are crooks." Here's the ironic twist. Lencho writes another letter to God, accusing the post office workers, who were the ones who helped him, of being crooks. His faith in God is so strong that he cannot see the human kindness that provided him with the money. This moment reveals a flaw in Lencho's belief. He is so focused on divine help that he misses the good that is right in front of him. Summary: A letter to God is a powerful story about faith and human kindness. Lencho's unwavering belief in God's help is admirable, but it also blinds him to the generosity of others. The postmaster and his colleagues, touched by Lencho's faith, collect money to help him. Yet Lencho cannot see this as an act of human kindness. He believes they stole from him. The story reminds us that while faith is important, sometimes we must also recognize the goodness that comes from the people around us. And that's how literature connects us with deep, timeless themes. Together we've explored not just the words, but the emotions and ideas that drive them. If you enjoyed this journey, make sure to subscribe to Professor DC for more powerful literary explanations that leave no question unanswered. Until next time, keep reading, keep exploring, and remember, every story has a lesson waiting to be discovered.